If you're looking for the best resources to fuel your pharma journey, you've come to the right place. Get inspired by must-reads and personal picks from a medical affairs thought leader, Matt Britland. Leaders are readers, and you're a leader who reads every morning for an hour, as I heard on Lizzie's podcast. Can you share with us what's on your bookshelf, or actually, I know you alluded to, podcasts are your preference. Yeah, are there any recommended resources that you have for the audience that are going to help set them up for success in medical affairs, in pharma, in life?
I've never read a magic book, to be honest with you. There is one book that, I'll preface this by saying, when I was in fundamental medical affairs, I used to call it science hour. It's 7 to 8 every morning. And I used to pick 2 journals, scientific journals, around what I was working on, peripherally, what I was working on, generally in cancer. And I used to read them and mark them up, always printed them off, mark them up, read them. And I used to do that 7 to 8, literally religiously. And then I'd start my day. And I was doing that for a long time. When I launched MedWise, I had to put them scientific journals. I still read them, but I started subscribing to Harvard Business Review, started reading leadership books, 7 Habits, Tools for Titans. So I've read all of them books, and they're all good to read. One book's good that I read recently when I launched MedWise was Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play, which was a good, and again, I think one thing that I've learned is when 3 or 4, when you ask this, the same question you'd asked me to a bunch of people that you aspire to, when the same resource comes up a few times, read it.
Are you enjoying these recommendations? Leave a comment below. I'd love to know. What are your favorite reads?
But there's no magic book or anything. I do subscribe to HBR. I listen to podcasts probably each day on business and finance and other things, because I'm trying now to be a really good managing director from a medical director. But I listen to podcasts on medical affairs every single day as well. So like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll listen to a podcast on medical affairs. So I listen to MAPS, I listen to various different, MAPS is a great resource for medical affairs, but just continuously learn. Continuously learn. And you'd be surprised what can happen even when because of the way that our brain is set up, how you can learn through osmosis when you just put a podcast on. And we often work from home nowadays or drive. Every time I'm driving, it's a podcast.
Yeah, you're learning.
I'm learning. You've got to continuously learn. I don't read fiction because we've got 80 years on the planet, I think, and I don't think I could ever learn as many facts as I want to learn. So I'm very much factual, which makes me quite boring. But it's...
I find you fascinating.
It just is me. Yeah. So you've got to listen, and again, you've got to figure out what you love and do it.
Yeah. Now, last question for a bit of fun. If you were a pharmaceutical drug, what would your warning label say?
Oh gosh, there was some very inappropriate thoughts that came through then. Probably a black box warning. I'd say.
Already flagged by the FDA.
Already flagged by the FDA that inappropriate use can cause hazards. Yeah. Because, look, I don't for fools gladly either. Like, I don't waste time with people, and, I think we need to be all more authentic in that regard. But that's a great question. But definitely, just be a black box warning saying, be a bit careful.
Yeah. Tread with caution.
Makes me sound like a crazy nut now, but it's I don't hold back. Look, I don't, and I think if you want to go and break glass ceilings, you can't hold back. Yeah. I think you've got to really challenge things and look for logic and reason and rationale, and never be afraid to voice your opinion. Certainly, it's a culture I've always tried to build in my senior leadership roles, and then at MedWise, and ask any of my team. Yeah. I want them to be talking. I want them to be transparent. But I think it's really important to challenge, and you've got to be a bit fiery. You do.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to my hospital pharmacy days, and it's maybe some of the cytotoxics really potent, but make a huge difference. And maybe that's you, pioneering the way for medical affairs and breaking a lot of the traditional fixed mindset, which I love.
You've got to do that. Right. We've got to do that. We owe it to patients. We owe it to the industry. The future is going to dictate it anyway, so the future is going to absolutely mandate that we change continuously, and you have to embrace it. Yeah. You have to invent the future by changing the way you do things now. So don't come into this industry if you don't like change.
Yeah, brilliant advice. And I guess we'll finish there. Again,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks, David.
So much wisdom, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been a really fun series to film. The whole purpose of Finding Pharma is to give you grit. It's guidance, relationships, inspiration, to ultimately transform your career. If you want to have regular doses of grit, subscribe to Finding Pharma today. There is new content every week. See you next week.